you some breaking news because Yemen's Houthi rebels have claimed responsibility for a series of drones and missiles launched towards Israel's coastal holiday city of Eilat. Israel reported destroying an aerial target over the Red Sea. Israel blamed the Iranian-backed Houthis for a similar attack on Friday. Let's cross over to Alan Fisher, joining us now from the occupied East Jerusalem with the very latest on this. And there will be reaction to this from the Israelis, Alan.
Two attacks in the last 12 hours or so. There was what was described as an unidentified aerial threat early in the hours of Tuesday, which was blown out of the sky essentially by the Israelis. That was over the Red Sea and heading towards Eilat. And then just a few hours later, there was a missile that was intercepted. Now, that missile, they believe, was a land-to-land missile that was fired from Yemen. They say it was Iranian-made. It was taken out of the sky by what is known as the Arrow defense system. That's the first time it's been used in Israel since 2017 when it intercepted a Syrian missile. It is the top level. Everyone's heard of Iron Dome. There's Iron Dome, there's David Sling, and then there is the Arrow defense system. So that's how serious they took this out. And now, clearly there is concern that this was heading for Eilat. Eilat normally has a population of around 60,000, but many of those in the south near Gaza were moved to Eilat, so it's currently operating with a population of 120. So it's clear that the Israelis would be concerned that there would be this new front opening up, essentially. We already have the fighting in Gaza. We know about Hezbollah attacks in the north, and now from across the Red Sea, we're seeing attacks by the Houthis based in Yemen.
Alan, can we just talk about how the Israelis now are either telling their own public or not about this ground offensive in Gaza, because this all affects the way that the Prime Minister imparts this information to the public, with so many of him wanting his resignation?
For the moment, they continue to support the war. What we're hearing from the Israeli army is that the fighting in Gaza is deeply intense. It's not just street to street. They have described it as face to face. And they say that this will cause continued concern for the Israelis because clearly it carries, they say, a heavy price. But they say it is important to continue this sort of fighting in the streets. And we know the tanks are there in Gaza as well. What isn't clear and won't be made clear to the public at this stage is what the end game is. And of course, that is operational. It's part of the Israeli military planning. The Americans constantly told the Israelis that they had to have a plan for getting in and getting out, but also what they were going to do when they were there. And Benjamin Netanyahu said on a number of occasions, look, we have those plans, we're just not going to share them with the public, which is obvious. But everyone in Israel and nearby is watching this intense fighting. They're watching reports of how heavy the fighting is, how tanks are there. Hamas would claim that the tanks are getting bogged down, that in the face-to-face fighting, Israel is suffering heavy losses. But everyone is following what is going on in Gaza with the limited information they can get from the Israeli news services and also from the information that has been provided by the Israeli military.
Alan Fisher there for us in the occupied East Jerusalem. Thank you.